Excuse me. Anyway, here we are. So 6 things, everybody, that post is going to ask on the grammar portion of the post exam. It's the first part of the exam that you see. There's usually about 15 to 18 questions on grammar. You get 2 choices per set, which is nice because then you got a 50% chance, right? But you guys are going to have a 100% chance of getting it all right because you guys are going to know the rules, and so we're going to take the guesswork out of that. So let's go ahead and move on here, and we'll take a look. So the first thing I want you to know is on sentence clarity, which means sentence being clear. That means that there's no vague interpretation, no more than one way to interpret a concept. Post likes you to see or identify a sentence that says, okay, between 2 sentences, that one is the one that's most clear. So if you ever go to court, you have to write your sentences in your police reports so that it's very clear that there cannot be any doubt on who's doing what to whom, okay? And one of the ways we can get in trouble with this is through vague or indefinite pronouns, and that's the first concept this morning. A pronoun is a noun that takes place of a proper noun, okay? Or any other noun, I should say. I could say, the table is over in my living room. It is made of wood. It being referring back to the table. The table is just a noun. It's not really a proper noun, but any noun can have a pronoun to it, so we can refer back to it, okay? If you look at your right of your screen here, let me show you what I've got. If you look to the right of your screen, here's some pronouns for you to take a look at. And these are the ones that most commonly show up on the post exam. Now, there's nothing wrong with these pronouns. It's just that if you write a sentence that has more than one person or thing that it can refer to, it becomes unclear, then it's going to be a problem. So let me do this by illustration, okay? So here I have 2 women, and their names are Grace and Cheryl. So here's a sentence. Grace told Cheryl that she had gained weight. Well, this presents a problem because since they're both female, I don't know who's telling who what. I don't know if Grace is telling Cheryl that Cheryl, this gal, has gained weight, okay? Or I don't know if Grace is telling Cheryl that Cheryl herself has gained weight, right? I don't know which ladies, so I don't know if Grace is telling Cheryl that Cheryl's gained weight. I don't know if Grace is telling Cheryl that Grace herself has gained weight. The pronoun she is what we call a vague pronoun. It's vague only because you have more than one interpretation, more than one person that this pronoun could refer to. So what's the answer going to look like on the test? So we know that this is the problem sentence. Well, what's the answer going to look like? Well, there's a couple of varieties of ways that this could be reported as a correct answer. So let's take a look. One way is that we just insert the name of the person that's being told or addressed or hurt or hit or whatever. So in A, on the test, you could see Grace told Cheryl that Cheryl had gained weight. We're going to take away she, and we're just going to replace it with the name of a person. Okay? Or we could say Grace told Cheryl that Grace herself had gained weight. Or we could make it into a quote. We can say Grace told Cheryl, quote, I have gained weight. Well, since Grace is the speaker, then it can only be Grace that gained weight, not Cheryl. Or I could say Grace told Cheryl, quote, you have gained weight. So however it's going to show up on the exam, what happens is that the vague pronoun will disappear in the answer. So see this vague pronoun she right here is not in the answer down here because the vague pronoun has to disappear in order to make this a clear sentence. We just replace the name, okay? You're probably going to have about 3 to 4 of these questions on the exam where they're going to take a pronoun, make it vague because it's going to refer to more than one thing, or it's supposed to refer to 2 things, but it only refers to one. But it's pretty easy to tell. let me bring you down to the next example. My physics teacher did not explain the homework, which made me angry. Well, here's a problem. Something made you angry. And here's the pronoun which refers to a singular concept. Okay? Well, the problem here is that two things could have made you angry. Number one, it could have been the lack of explanation. You were expecting homework, but the teacher didn't explain it, so that really made you mad. Or you just didn't want homework. The game's on today. Physics teacher gave you homework on the big game day, and so the homework itself made you angry. So here's the problem. Anytime you can draw arrows to more than one concept, it's going to be the wrong answer on the exam because there's more than one concept here. So it's unclear. So how are we going to make this clear? Well, to make it clear, remember your answer is going to have no vague pronoun in it. That vague pronoun is going to disappear. So come down here and we're going to see, I was angry with my physics instructor when he did not explain the homework. Why are you mad? He did not explain the homework. Notice that which is not part of here. It's gone. So in police report writing, we're looking for very clear, direct, unambiguous sentences. Let's take a look at 3. And this is a very common type of pronoun question you'd get on the exam. After taking the wallet from the handbag, the burglar threw it in the trash. Well, here's a problem. It is a singular pronoun. It can only refer to one thing. But the problem is, the burglar took the wallet and a handbag. So what did he throw in the trash? Did he throw the wallet in the trash? Did he throw the handbag in the trash? Well, we don't know, right? So that makes the sentence vague. So to fix this sentence, we're going to take it out because it is our vague pronoun. So we're going to come down here and say we make what it is very specific. So after taking the wallet from the handbag, the burglar threw the handbag in the trash. So we just replace it with a particular name. I could have written this sentence, after taking the wallet from the handbag, the burglar threw the handbag in the trash. Right? I could have said that. Or if I wanted to indicate that the burglar threw both of them away, well, then I change it to both. Because both is a pronoun that I can use. Because I have more than one thing. And both is a plural pronoun showing more than one thing. And since if I wanted to make this more than one thing, then I would say, after taking the wallet from the handbag, the burglar threw both in the trash. Okay, so now I know he threw the wallet and the handbag. So when you look at the answer on the post, first, watch for the vague pronoun to disappear. And second, watch it to become very specific on what was being done, what was happening, who did what to who, that kind of thing. All right? So let's go on. We've got a few more examples. Before I turn the page, let me just check you guys out, make sure that we don't have any questions coming at me. Nope, not. I got some good mornings and good mornings back to you guys as well. Thank you. Okay, so let's go to the next page and let's look at some more things here. So here we have Jake told Bill that it was his turn to drive the boat. Notice I have two pronouns. It doesn't mean that they're both vague. It just means you have to decide which one is vague. Okay, well here, what's vague, it or his? Well, it's going to be his because I have two males. There's Jake. There's Bill. Right? And so since I have two males, I don't know if Jake is telling Bill that it's Bill's turn to drive the boat. I don't know if Jake's telling Bill that it's Jake's himself turn to drive the boat. So whose turn is it to drive the boat? Well, our correct sentence is what? Let's put this here. Make the text a little bit smaller. So we could say Jake told oops, capitalize that, Bill, that it was Bill's. And this is the most common way that Post is going to fix this. To drive the boat. Okay, that's one way, right? Or I could say, Jake told Bill that it was Jake's himself turn to drive the boat. Or I could make it a quote. Jake told Bill that, quote, it is my turn to drive the boat. Or I could say it was your turn to drive the boat. Whichever, right? We'll have to quote that. Okay, so either of these methods are going to be acceptable. Okay, so now what I want you to do, and use your chat box, is that here is, I was very upset at my brother's news, which was unexpected. First, I want you to tell me what is the vague pronoun, and secondly, what two things could be unexpected. Okay, let me give you a minute to do that, and then type your answers in the box so I can kind of check what you're thinking, if you don't mind. Yes, Ashley, Philippe, which is the vague pronoun? Very good. And I have, you could be upset at the brother or the news. Okay. But remember, it's not the brother, it's the brother's news. So you can't be upset at the brother. You could be upset at the news. So, but it's not a bad guess. Okay, yeah, Matt. So you've got, Matt, you could be upset at the news or being unexpected. You're missing one word on that. Unexpectedly what? There, I think I've got it on Paul. Paul, the reference that could be that you are upset, you're unexpectedly upset at your brother's news, or you are upset at your brother's unexpected news. So good. So let's see, Manny, what you have here. The news or unexpected. You're unexpectedly upset. Okay? Yeah, I was unexpectedly upset at my brother's news. Right. That was you, Daniel. Good. Same with you, Sharif. You're saying unexpected, but the thing is needs to be unexpectedly upset. Good. And I see everybody else coming in. Okay, I think you guys have got it. I was just scrolling down to make sure. All right, so how do you fix it? So some of you got this already. You already put it in. But it depends on what the intention of the author was, right? I could say, I was unexpectedly upset at my brother's news. It's not that the news was unexpected, but you were upset and you shouldn't have been. Let's say you come home and your brother tells you that he's won $5 million and everything's gone good for your brother. I mean, he gets everything. Even your parents like him better than you, right? So you might say you were unexpectedly upset. You should have been thrilled that your brother got $5 million. You should be happy for people with their good news, but you're not because it happened to him and everything good happens to him. So you were unexpectedly upset. Or let's say the news was unexpected. So let me put, I was very upset at my brother's unexpected news. Okay, so now it was the news that was unexpected. So let's say that your brother comes home one time and he said, you know what, bro, I'm really a girl. So that news is unexpected. Okay, so we don't know the meaning of the author, which is why this is wrong, which is why we have to take out which. But once we take out which, as you can see, we just replace it with what is absolutely happening. Let me put this down so I can draw. Okay. So that is the way that you fix those on the post test. Let's do another one. Very common way for post to do this as well is the way I have it in number 3. The police officer told the doctor that he had made a mistake. Here's our problem. That's our vague pronoun. Why is it vague? Because a police officer can be male and a doctor can be male. So since I have a potential of both being male, I don't know which one made the mistake. Is the police officer telling the doctor that the doctor made a mistake? Or is the police officer telling the doctor that the police officer himself has made a mistake? Don't know which one. So again, our answer is going to take out the vague pronoun he. Just kind of take that out, right? And then we're just going to correct the sentence and we're just going to replace it with whoever made the mistake. So in this case, we'll just say that the doctor did, okay? But it doesn't have to be. So police officer told the doctor that the doctor. Now post repeats, had made a mistake. Repeats the second name often. And one of the reasons that a lot of people miss this on the exam is because somewhere in an English class, sometime, you guys were told not to repeat yourself in a sentence and not to be redundant. And that's okay. Usually it's because teachers were telling you as far as style. But when it comes to police report writing, you can't leave anything to chance. You can't leave anything to misinterpretation or dual interpretation, because you're going to get cross-examined by the defense attorney. And if you leave any open doors for him or her, then you've got a problem. So you have to write very clearly as a cop and very specifically, okay? And it becomes a legal document once you submit that police report. So note that on the post exam, they're going to repeat the name of whoever's doing what to whom, okay? And don't worry that you see the police officer told the doctor that the doctor. That might sound odd to your ear, but that's going to sound right to you on the exam, okay? And then our last example here, she finished her assignment, folded her laptop, and took it to school. Well, that's our problem, right? Because it is a singular concept. We have two things that could have been taken to school. We have assignment, or we have laptop. I don't know if she took her assignment to school. I don't know if she took her laptop to school. So it is unclear. So do the same as up there. She finished her assignment. Folded her laptop. And took her laptop or assignment, whatever you want. So we'll say laptop. Okay? So that's it. Now, every time I finish a particular segment of grammar, what I do is I pronounce all of you experts in that area. Anytime I pronounce you an expert, you guys have to take an exam. So let's get started, everybody. So here we are. Let's take a look at the screen here. And what do we have? Looking at some folks put their answers in. Okay, so what all you have to do is compare your answers to my answers, and we'll discuss anything you want to, or you can ask questions on that. We can go over anything. Okay, so here we go. Number 1. You should have put B. Okay, even though what we have here is we got rid of which is more confusing because I don't know. I finally made up my mind to become a police officer, which wasn't easy. Well, which making up your mind, was that hard? Or becoming a police officer, is that not easy? Okay, so it wasn't easy. Now we know what wasn't easy, but I finally made up my mind to become a police officer. And it's telling you exactly, okay? It wasn't easy, but I finally made up my mind to become a police officer. So B is correct. Let's take a look at 2. We're going to go with B, and the reason it's B is because we got that repeat here. Mother told the daughter that the daughter needed to clean the house. 3, we're looking at A, because in 3B, the vague pronoun is they, and we don't know who they are. In fact, it makes it look like it's the parents that are have unlimited use of the teeter-totter, whereas in 3A, it tells us that children, okay, children have unlimited use. Number 4 is A, because my car hit the pole, but my car didn't have a scratch. Here, the vague pronoun is it, and I don't know what didn't have the scratch. The car or the pole. Maybe you drive a Hummer, right? A Humvee. So what didn't have a scratch? It is a vague pronoun because there's 2 things that could have been scratched. 5, let's see, A or B. Looks like it's B. Vague pronoun in A is they. Makes it sound like your husband didn't know what a camping store was. In B, it tells you exactly what was on sale, which is items. Okay? 6, A or B. And 6B is the correct answer. My Aunt Lois is a magician, but I'm not interested in it. It being what? Becoming, being a magician, being an Aunt Lois. We don't know what that is. Okay, so here we have I'm not interested in being one, not being a magician. Okay, so it's a more clear pronoun here. 7A or B. We have a redundant. The police officer, or the owner of the store told the investigator that the investigator had no reason, so there's that repeat. Whereas in 7A, our vague pronoun is she, right? Because she could be either the investigator or the store owner. Since both of those people can be she's, then that vague pronoun she cannot work for us. But here it's very clear. It's the investigator. Okay, 8, A or B. Correct answer is A. It's because disgusted by Frank's foul language, Bill told Frank, you have to leave. Well, who is you here? Frank. Right? Disgusted by Frank's foul language, Bill told Frank he would have to leave. Well, I don't know who's leaving. Is Bill telling Frank that Bill's going to leave because he hates that language? Or is Bill telling Frank that Frank has to leave? We don't know. So that vague pronoun is he, and that's going to be the wrong answer on the test, right? 9, A or B. The vague pronoun is it. And the vague pronoun is it because I don't know what you won't read. Are you not going to read the table of contents? Or you're not going to read the textbook? It is a singular concept, and it can only refer to one of those. Whereas in B, it tells us that if the table of contents of a textbook doesn't interest me, I don't read the textbook. Now we know for sure what you don't read. This could have been this way. If the table of contents of a textbook doesn't interest me, I don't read the table of contents. Of course, it wouldn't make much sense then. Okay. In 10, correct answer is A because it tells us who grows grapes, farmers. And B, they is the vague pronoun. Who grows grapes in Central California? Farmers, store owners, cows. Who is it? We don't know, right? And in 11, here's the vague pronoun in A. Is this. We don't know what's vague. We don't know if it's the fact that you knew Clara was lying, or the friends knew that you knew Clara was lying. Okay? It's a vague. We don't know which one it refers back to. But in B, Claire's friends were not aware. What were they not aware of? That I knew Claire was lying. So Claire's friends didn't know you knew Claire was lying. And this makes it more important. The vague pronoun this is a singular concept. And since there's two concepts here, 1 and 2, it can't work because this is a singular pronoun. Okay? And notice that this is not part of the answer here because this is a vague pronoun. It can't be in the answer. Okay, just checking on one thing here. I just want to make sure we're still recording. Yep, we're still recording. Okay, just wanted to be sure. All right, now 12. 12, a lot of people kind of get wrong because they were used to talking that way. So let me show you what's going on here. I just lost my... Here we go. Okay. The vague pronoun 12a is she. And the problem is we have two potential she's. Or, no, sorry. The problem is, never mind, hang on. I meant to do B here. The problem is B because of the pronoun they. They is the wrong pronoun because we're talking about a person. A person. How many people are a person? 1. So if you have one person here as a subject, you can't have they as the pronoun because it's more than one person. Okay? But here, A is the correct answer. I didn't mean to circle B. So let me get rid of that. So when you go back, I get my eraser here. Okay, so let me take out B. So the right one is A. Because she is a singular pronoun, and she's can be a person, right? So they agree. I have one person here, and I have one singular pronoun that refers back to that one person. So A is the correct answer. So your pronouns have to agree, too, in the number that they represent. Okay? So everybody, we talk B. I talk B, too. But when you write, you have to be grammatically correct. And so we have to have one, if we have a singular subject, it has to be a singular pronoun. Now, if I change this and I said, when people leave home for the first time, now I can say they are on their own, right? Now I can say that if I make my subject plural. Okay, so now let's go to my brother. My brother and me went to the store. My brother and I went to the store. Correct answer B. And let me teach you a little trick here. I'll do that in 14. I'll do it now. Okay, so let me show you something. You could take a little box or with your thumb, you can cover up one subject in a sentence just to be sure. So let me take a box and cover something up here. So I've got my brother went to the store. Can you see that? My brother went to the store. And now let me cover up my brother. And I've got me went to the store. Well, we don't talk that way unless you're 3 years old. Me went to the store, me go home now, right? So anytime you have two subjects joined by and, you can cover one up and read it and see which one's better. Let me bring it down to the second example. I have my brother went to the store. That still sounds good. Now let's move the box over. I went to the store. That sounds good because I am the actor. I'm the doer. So let's now do this technique on B. So I'm going to bring this down here and I'm going to say, he gave the book to me. That sounds good, right? He gave the book to me, right? So now let me take away me. He gave the book to my brother. That sounds good. Let's go down to B. He gave the book to my brother. That sounds good. And now let's just move it back over one more time. He gave the book to I. Well, we don't go around talking like that, do we? Give I the book. Give it to I. Right? We don't talk that way because I can only come before the verb. Okay? If you're talking about yourself after the verb, then you go to me. He gave the book to me, because I come after the verb gave, right? But if I come before the verb, I gave the book to him. I wouldn't say me gave the book to him. So if you ever want to know, I comes before the verb, me comes after the verb. All right? So the correct answer here is what, everybody? It's A, right? Because he gave the book to my brother. He gave the book to me. Correct. It doesn't sound as proper because of how we put me first here. If I would have said, he gave the book to my brother and me, would that make you more happy? Most people would like that better. Okay. And is that all we have? No. Okay, let's go down. Last one. I couldn't find the mustard container and I don't like to eat my hot dogs without it. Well, without what? What's it? You don't like to eat your hot dogs without the mustard container? That's kind of awkward. Okay. So in B, it says, I couldn't find the mustard container. I don't like to eat my hot dogs without the mustard. Well, that's more clear because here it's specific mustard. But here, the only thing in this sentence that it can refer back to is mustard container. And that doesn't make sense, right? Not to eat your hot dogs without a mustard container. You can eat it without mustard. Okay, so now what do I have left here for you? Come on. I put a vague one down here. Bill Johnson and John Smith are leaders in our town, and he is a good man. Can you see how that's a problem? Is it Bill Johnson that's a good man, or is it John Smith that's a good man? So we'd have to make it specific. We'd have to say Bill Johnson and John Smith are leaders in our town, and Bill Johnson is a good man, or John Smith is a good man, or both are a good man. Okay, so everybody, congratulations, you just got past vague pronouns. We are now headed to sentence clarity on the modifying errors.